So this is the Apple Magic Mouse, and I'm gonna talk about it because I don't think that it deserves this amount of hate that it gets. I kinda think that it is still a valuable piece of tech. I mean, I also tried using trackpad. You can take a look at the video if you want, but the Magic Mouse is kind of interesting, and I decided to make the video highlighting the features of the Apple Magic Mouse. Now let's just get started. Of course, the great thing about it is that it is very available, and it is available to all of the people. You can even find offers to buy now for about $20, which means that it is really available and the price is good. I mean, yeah, there are two generations of the Magic Mouse, the first and the second one. I'm here holding the first generation, and you couldn't notice if it's a second or the first unless I turn the mouse like this, and now you can see that we have the real physical strap for the batteries, which indicates that this is the first generation. You are able to put real batteries inside it, whereas the second generation already has the lightning connector, so you only charge the mouse using the lightning cable and you don't physically switch out the batteries. But other than that, the mouse is very similar to this. Just for the reference, a brand new Magic Mouse costs $79 for the silver version, or the white one, as you can see right here. The black one costs $99 for some reason. I don't know why the price difference of $20 just because of the color. Maybe they wanted to make the black color feel a little bit more premium, I don't know, but this is what you get. But for the fact that the Magic Mouse is kind of hated, I kind of think that it still is a great product. By the way, if you are new on this channel, make sure to check out some of my other videos, and if you are enjoying them, and if you're enjoying this one, you should click on the like button, and let's continue with the video, and also subscribe if you don't want to miss future stuff. There is one thing which I think that the Apple mouse actually sucks, and that is gaming. Like, nobody would ever do any kind of gaming with this piece of tech. It's really flat, and I don't think that it is really suitable for anybody who wants to get into gaming. Of course, it is possible, but this is definitely not the best option. What the mouse is great for is for editing, whether that is a photo or video editing. And let me tell you why. Because the Apple mouse, I mean, the mouse doesn't really have the scrolling wheel. Of course, you are familiar with this, but instead it has like a huge touchpad on this, so you can, no matter where you actually move around, where you actually do this gesture, you can scroll whatever website, timeline, or picture you want in any direction you want, and it doesn't matter if you do it up here. So you're using like a huge trackpad, which is also a mouse at the same time, which is the great thing about the mouse. The mouse is very flat, which has one more advantage, and that is if you're using it a lot of times, if you're using it really long, for example in the office, or I don't know, people really complain about a carpal tunnel, that they have problems with that, but I'm gonna tell you why they have problems with that. The reason why the people have carpal tunnels and problems with their wrist after using a classic mouse is because the cheaper mouses, whether that is Bluetooth or even the one with the cable, are huge. I mean, most of them are huge. Of course, there are plenty of options, and it's impossible to compare all of them, but most of the cheaper alternatives and the classic ones are just really huge, and that's why it just even feels different when you're using them. So after a whole day in the office, I mean, there's definitely has to be a pain in your wrist after using the mouse like this, while the one from Apple is very, very flat, and it's almost a different feeling when you switch to the Apple mouse, and it's almost like your hand is laying flat on a table, like you don't really care about anything. It's just very small and very comfortable to use. There may be one problem, however. If you go to the Apple store and try the Apple mouse, you probably may feel that it's very slow and it doesn't really work the way you expected, and that's because in the Apple stores, usually when I go there, the speed of the mouse is very small, and you can even set it and turn it on in the settings. This is definitely not a problem, and I keep it on about 70% on my trackpad, on my mouse and everything. I find it to be a very normal speed for the mouse. and I kind of think that it makes sense to use this one. As of right now, there are plenty of advantages of owning the Apple mouse. The first has to be the gestures, and I mentioned it when I was talking about the trackpad. The same thing with the trackpad, with the difference that this one has even more gestures and more room to play with them. But with the mouse, you also have some. For example, like I said, you don't have the scrolling wheel, so whenever you want to scroll, you can use the touchpad area of the mouse, which is the most part of the mouse, so you can move your finger like this. Whenever you can actually scroll on any kind of website. But besides that, you can scroll horizontally, for example in a timeline in Premiere Pro or After Effects or whatever program you're using, or even if you are editing photos, you can move around with the mouse very easily. Of course, left click and right click works, like you can turn it off if you don't even want the right click. For example, you have the double tap gesture to make sure to zoom it in on a website, so this is great advantage as well. You can double tap to zoom out again, and you can do all of the things even if you own the first generation of the Apple mouse. Even if you buy it for 20 bucks on eBay, you can still get all of these things. And with the mouse, it's not like you carry it around, it just always stays in the office, so I wouldn't really worry about the mouse being destroyed when it arrives, or that it would be used heavily, that you would even notice it. I mean, it's kind of really hard for the Apple Watch for the Apple mouse to wear out. Another gesture there is when you swipe using two fingers in the middle of the mouse, which will trigger the action, and on your Mac you will be able to see that you are moving from one desktop to the other, or some similar things. For example, you're going to be moving from one page to the other. So it's great that you have many gestures even on the small surface of the mouse. Like I said, if you have the series or the first generation or the second, the only difference is in the way it is powered, because in the second one you have a built-in battery which you charge through the lightning cable. So in this case, if you have the second generation, you can even open up the settings and see how much battery is left, and you will of course get even notifications when you are low on battery, so you can charge it up. But of course, it doesn't drain too much battery. But in case you have the older generation like I do right here in front of me, then you will have to turn and take out the batteries out of the mouse and replace them with new ones, perhaps charge them if you have rechargeable batteries. And the other thing that you can see right here is the option to turn it off and on. But this is pretty much everything what you need to know about the mouse. One very interesting thing is that if you turn the trackpad off using the switch, you can see that I turn it off. Right now, it doesn't do anything, I'm not able to click. Whereas if I turn it on, it actually unlocks it, and now you can hear I can actually click it. So with the mouse, it's completely different whether you have it turned off or on. You actually can click it all the time, so this is how it works. But also you have the LED light right there, which is going to show green whenever you are connected, so it's like an indicator for you to know that you are connected to a Mac, but you can see it even on the screen, so there is no problem with that. So overall, I think that the mouse is kind of underrated and hated on, and I don't think it deserves it because it's not that expensive anymore. Of course, talking about the first gen and used one, of course, and we are also talking about Apple, so you have to pay attention to the prices. But yeah, like I said, the mouse is great and packed with some great features, and I still think that for some basic using and for video editing and stuff, it is still a great option. So that's why I don't think that we should hate the Apple mouse. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up on this one to let me know that you liked it, and for more content like this in the future, make sure you subscribe, and see you guys later in the next video. Peace out, guys.